So, a warm good day to my viewers, to my listeners, and to all my treasured participants in this historic and epoch-making channel. This is our Boxing Day edition 2025. Welcome once more to our channel, Human Rights Heralds. We have made some significant changes in our manner of broadcast. Because of the demand of space and time, we have adjusted our timing a little. While it used to be a quarter hour with the Human Rights Heralds, from this video onwards, it will become half an hour with the Human Rights Heralds. As such, I am your usual humble host, Ogochukwu Onoha, the Human Rights Heralds. I welcome you to a half hour with the Human Rights Heralds. And in this video, your Human Rights Wizard will be focusing on right to peaceful assembly and association. The Constitution of the Federation of Nigeria 1999, as amended, discusses the right to peaceful assembly and association. In Section 40 of that Constitution, it is a brief section, which is why it becomes germane that we analyze and examine and give you the details in as simple a way as possible of Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution. You must not, at this juncture, forget the goal of this channel: to educate all Nigerians on their rights, especially to help break down the technicality of the words used in phrasing our laws to such simple terms that they are readily understandable to the layperson. And our goal is that you know your rights, protect your rights, and defend your rights. If what we are doing in this channel pleases you, please, you know what to do. Like, share this video and the others we had in the past, and subscribe to this channel so that you will encourage us to give you more of these kind of videos. Today's video will interest you if you are a member of a trade union, you are in the leadership of a trade union, you are a member of Traders Association, or you are in the leadership of Traders Association. You are a member of a political party, or you are in the leadership of a political party. You are a member of a town union, or you are not a member thereof, but you are a member of the town community. Do you live in a town neighborhood where there is a vigilante association and there is a dispute concerning whether you or some other person could or could not be a member, or could choose or not choose to be a member of the vigilante organization? Are you a member of a religious organization or a leadership of a religious organization, a social club, or you are in the leadership of a social club? Are you a member of any interest group, or you are not a member thereof? If you fall within any of these categories, students' union, workers' union, professional organizations, or union of professional organizations, that's like trade unions, business bodies, and sundry associations. If you belong in one of these groups, or you do not belong but you know someone who belongs in one of them, today's video is specifically designed for you. Let us begin by talking about Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution. That section is on the right to peaceful assembly and association. I would like to stress the word peaceful. Peaceful, then assembly and association. It implies that if the association is unpeaceful, if the assembly is unpeaceful, it might be breaching a law. It might be violating a law, and the members thereof could be liable to prosecution. What does it say? That section gives every Nigerian the right to belong or not to belong in an association, the right to be a part of an assembly, like a group protesting or demanding a certain right or a certain behavior, a certain conduct from the government. A protesting group, you may or may not belong in them. So that section gives you a right to decide to belong or not to belong. The right to form such an association or not to form it. The right to belong if someone has formed it. And the right not to belong. And this includes political parties. The right to belong to a political party because you share the ideology upon which the political party is built, or you share the ideals on which the political party exists. The ideals of good governance that a political party propagates, you share it, and you want to belong to that political party. And then after some time, you no longer share the ideals. You no longer share the ideologies that define the nature of the political party, and you wish to change to a different political party. Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution guarantees your right to do so. But the section closes by saying that nothing contained in that section derogates from the right of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from deciding not to recognize a particular political organization as a political party. And what does this imply? It implies that in spite of the provision of this section, that INEC reserves the right to recognize or de-recognize. To de-recognize means to stop recognizing or to withdraw its recognition from a political party. Are we following? Now, political associations eventually become political parties if they are recognized in Nigeria by INEC. If INEC decides to not recognize a political association, that implies that it is no longer a political party, and belonging in that political party, that belonging to that political association for the purpose of conducting or running an election in Nigeria or participating in an election will be viewed as illegal. Whereas an existing political party could be de-recognized. INEC may decide not to recognize an existing political party any longer, and membership of that political party becomes illegal in Nigeria. All right. Those are the provisions of Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution. Now, we need to analyze this section as it affects us as individuals, not just as members of political parties or non-members. How does it affect us as an individual? Let us talk about the Nigerian child who is below 18. A Nigerian child who is below 18 is a minor and does not have the full right to enforce Section 40. There is a child of Nigerian parentage in Nigeria who is below 18, does not have the right to association, does not have the right to assembly or association, peaceful or not peaceful, without the approval, without the consent of his or her parents or whoever plays the role of parents in the life of the child. Let us explain this further. At the age of 11 to 17, a Nigerian child is not yet an adult and so cannot belong in an association without the approval of the parents or foster parents, as the case may be. Therefore, the child may not leave the religion into which he or she was born while still below 18 and decide to opt for another faith-based organization without the parents' approval. The child may not join any group that the parents does not approve. The child can be a member of a football club, for instance, with the parents' approval. Join a youth club or a teenage club or a teenage organization with the parents' approval. All of these are correct. But we are saying that the child may not join any such association or assembly without the approval of the parents. Of course, we understand that even at the age of 18, most Nigerian children are still under their parental shelter. Your parents still feed you, clothe you, pay your school fees, take care of your medical bills, and provide for you in some other ways that we may not be able to enumerate here. And then at the age of 18, you decide that although you were born Muslim, you now want to become a Christian. And your parents frown at it. Well, at the age of 18, you may enforce that right. You could go to court to enforce your right to be allowed to become Christian or Muslim, irrespective of your own parents' preferences. But there is a caveat, a warning. Just as you have the right to disassociate with your parents' religion, for instance, and opt for a new religion, your parents also have the right to dissociate with you. That is why parents can disown their child. And a child can disown his parents. Now, if at the age of 18, you decide that because your parents do not approve of a group you belong in, that you have the right to enforce your decision because you are now of a legal age. The legal age begins from 18. The age to take decisions independently. If your parents decide to withdraw their parental role in your life, you know you run into trouble. You have to look for a place to live in, get a job and feed yourself and clothe yourself and take care of your own medical bills and care for yourself in other ways. That is why, even at the age of 18 and above, we still advise children to remain and be obedient to their parents. As soon as you are able to leave their shelter, you are no longer in university or secondary school, they no longer pay bills on your behalf, you are now employed and can earn your own income, you have a living accommodation of your own, then I would say hooray. You are now free. You may now assert your independence. It is no longer your parents' business if you decide to become a Muslim while you were born a Christian, if you decide to become a member of the African traditional religion, whether you were born a Christian or a Muslim, it is no longer your parents' business. You're now completely independent. So that is one side of it. Now, what about groups like occult groups or cult groups, as we find sometimes in our universities, and drug cartels? The Constitution describes these kind of associations as secret societies, and they are outlawed. That is why Section 40 says, right to peaceful assembly and association. It must be peaceful. And cultic or occult groups and drug cartels are not peaceful associations or assembly. So they are outlawed. So you may not belong in one of them legally. Now let's talk about issues that frequently arise in our neighborhoods. There is a vigilante organization that provides both day and night security, and residents are to pay monthly levies to help with the remuneration of the officers of such a vigilante group. And then, over a period, virtually everybody, every resident in the neighborhood makes such a contribution. Now, this is a kind of peaceful association. It is an association for the provision of security for life and property in the neighborhood. So every resident becomes a member, and they contribute levies for the defraying of the salaries or monthly stipends of the officials of the vigilante group. Now, the association is, however, not compulsory. It is not compulsory for all residents. So frequently, a particular resident, for instance, decides that I can't be a part of the vigilante group because they do not provide much service for me in particular. There are cases where property get lost in the neighborhood, and the membership of the vigilante group, the officials, are not able to account for it. Armed robbers, once in a while, attack the same neighborhood and go scot-free. Sometimes injure residents, and the vigilante group watches like a toothless bulldog. So one or two members say, I can make arrangements for my own security, therefore I am no longer a part of the vigilante arrangement, henceforth I will stop paying the levies. Then it becomes an issue, and very often the membership of the vigilante group get the police involved. The police gets the residents involved arrested. The police makes a claim like, if there is armed robbery here, we hold you responsible because you are not a member of the vigilante group. Now this is trash. Trash is against the law. It is a violation of the right to peaceful assembly or association of that resident. The membership of an association or an assembly is completely free. It is voluntary. So if someone decides to join, very good. If someone decides not to be a member again, it is also acceptable. So the fact that a resident has decided not to be a part of the vigilante group does not stop the group from functioning. That resident is free to form his own separate vigilante group or simply make a personal arrangement for his own security, and life goes on, while the vigilante also operates side by side with other such arrangements in the same neighborhood. So there should be no such thing as everybody must compulsorily be a part of the vigilante arrangements. There is a second related aspect of this. Trade associations in a major market. Traders who deal on a similar line of products have a trade association, the purpose of which is to regulate price. It discourages or makes it illegal for members to sell below a certain price, even when it is profitable to do so, or to sell above a certain price, even when it is profitable to do so. And then a particular trader who wants to benefit from the free market system, where price could rise or fall depending on the rate of demand and supply. A particular trader decides not to be a part of the trade association. And what happens? He becomes a victim. They begin to victimize him. They go to his shop and see some of his property and say, unless you become a member, you can't. You can't have this or trade here. They lock up his shop. Now this is wrong. It's completely a violation of the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association of that trader. So such a thing should not happen. If it happens, in the case of a vigilante group I talked about earlier on, or in the case of a trade association, which I've already spoken about, the person involved should raise an alarm, report to the nearest human rights organization. The Nigerian Legal Council or the Legal Council of Nigeria is there, and the National Human Rights Commission is there with its capital, with its headquarters located in all the states of the Federation. And then there are independent human rights organizations which are even more efficient when it comes to enforcing the rights of individuals. Like I said repeatedly, if you report to this channel, where this channel does not particularly enforce rights, this channel is affiliated with several human rights organizations. So if you call my number, our hotline, 0806 5422 624 or 091 333 01790, or if you send a WhatsApp post to the same number, 091 333 01790, or send an email to the address humanrightsheralds.wizard@gmail.com. If you reach out or just leave your message, your complaint on the comment section of our community, then I will refer you to a human rights organization that can help you solve this kind of problem and rescue you from those who threaten to deny you of your rights through the ADR, which we call Alternative Dispute Resolution, or by going to court right away if ADR fails. And the organization will provide you a pro bono service, that is, will be provided with a free legal service if the problem is how to raise money to hire a legal representation. Now, what else do we need to learn on the right to peaceful assembly and association? Let us talk about workers' union, especially in the private sector. The employer frowns at the workers unionizing because he prefers to pay them what he likes and keep them working from morning till evening and pay them a salary that is spent on the same week upon which it is received. And he doesn't want the workers to unite and demand a pay increase. And the employer does not give the workers any of the conditions of service prescribed by law in the Labor Act. And it becomes a taboo topic to talk about workers' interest in the organization, and the employer divides the workers in such a way that he favors those who gossip to him about what the other workers are saying in favor of their interests and gets the workers quarreling among themselves is called divide and rule, so that he is better able to control them because they are not in unity. And then you are the staff who is outspoken, and you are pilloried. You are victimized for this. I have experienced a worker lose a part of her salary, lose half of her salary completely, because she failed to attend an opening meeting of workers at the beginning of the year, an opening meeting that lasted for just an hour. Because she failed to return from the Christmas holiday early enough to attend that meeting, the employer took half of her salary. That is against the law. And workers are often helpless in such situations. They are vulnerable. I have experienced cases in an organization where the employer refuses to pay the statutory contributory pension. When I say statutory, I mean it is provided for by the law. And an employer who refuses to pay it is committing an industrial crime for which he or she is to be sued to court. But the workers are often unable to do anything because they are not able to unite. And the employer singles out those who encourage unions and dismisses them without notice. Now, when this is the case, contact us on Human Rights Heralds. We'll advise you on how to get help. If you are the worker dismissed for trying to protect your interests, or you work in an organization where the employer has refused to pay the contributory pension scheme, or you are victimized in some other way, that is why the industrial court, Nigerian industrial court, exists. If you provide us with the information that we need, we'll provide you a pro bono service. It is always better to iron out issues related to the law, issues of rights, because when we do this, we discourage the oppressor. We discourage those who trample upon our rights to stop doing so. So, ladies and gentlemen, my treasured viewers and listeners, today we've been discussing the rights to peaceful assembly and association. One other example of peaceful assembly is a public protest. A public protest that has not turned riotous. A riot is no longer peaceful, so we don't call it a peaceful assembly. Once there is a riot, the police could be drafted to quell the disturbances, and some rioters could get killed. But when the protest is done peacefully, then it is a kind of a peaceful assembly. And you have the right to join or not to join. It is your legal right. And the police break the law. If the police tries to disperse a peacefully protesting crowd with tear gas or rubber bullets, as the case may be. All right. I hope you've learned something from our video today. If this is the case, then I am fulfilled. But remember, the information we have dispensed here remains between you and I. And if this is the case, then we have not fully succeeded. To help us get this video have a wider reach, please like this video and share it. Subscribe to this channel so that we'll be able to provide you with videos, many more videos of this nature. Many more of them are in the offing. If you share and like this video, you'll be helping it to reach a wider audience. There are many people out there who need the same information that you and I have enjoyed today. Before we close our discussion today, remember our slogan: know your rights, protect your rights, and defend your rights. I have been your usual host, Ogochukwu Onoha, the Human Rights Wizard. I invite you to join us on our next video. Remain law-abiding and go about your business into the new year peacefully. Bye-bye.